And this is Marshall, and we're back on with Lana from Tucson, who has the YouTube channel, Just Us Tucson. And Lana, welcome back to Your Own World USA.
Thank you, Marshall. It's nice to be back, and I know we've got a lot of good videos to go over, and I'm excited, and it's all very, very cool what we're going to go over tonight. So.
Oh, well, that's good. That's a nice heads up. And the title of the show is, Are We Seeing the Blue Kachina Now? And this is a result of something that happened in your comments on your videos. And before we start showing folks the observations that you've made, let's talk a little bit about the Blue Kachina and then what you're doing with commenters, because I'm really impressed with that. But first off, where did you get the idea for Blue Kachina?
Well, it comes with the whole Planet X Nibiru theory, and that the Blue Kachina is when the object is moving inwards, coming towards us, and the Red Kachina is when it's going away from us. And so a commenter sent me a link to an article about the whole Hopi prophecy, the Blue Kachina, Red Kachina. And so I was reading about that, and that's where I learned that on its way in, it's blue, and on its way out, it's red. And what we're seeing in my videos is blue. So it's possibly the Blue Kachina.
All right. Well, let me address this, because I've talked a lot over the years about the Hopi Blue Kachina theory. So the Hopi Blue Kachina theory, what we're talking about is an ancient prophecy about a coming catastrophic time. And what the Blue Kachina prophecy tells us is, first we'll see a blue object, which is a harbinger sign. And then we see a red object, which is the one that's going to be the Red Kachina that really does all the damage. What you're describing is what we call Doppler effect, blue shift and red shift. Now here's the blue shift example. And what happens with Doppler blue shift is, as the object is approaching you, the light waves compress and become bluish. Conversely, when the object is going away from you, the light waves elongate and become red. And there are those that think the Blue Kachina, Red Kachina prophecy of the Hopis is talking about two different objects. It could be. So in the final analysis with the Hopi Blue Kachina, Red Kachina prophecy is, many people believe it's talking about two different objects, and there is a possibility it could. But, you know, as you can see with my red shift, blue shift Doppler effect analysis, I think that's more of what we're seeing, and it's going to be more accurate, Lana, in terms of what happens, because the object is coming at us, it's blue, but once it crosses overhead, it goes over Earth's orbit. As it's arcing down to its exit between Mars and Jupiter, that's when it's really going to get bad, and that's when it's going to be red. So it could be one or the other. But of equal interest to me is the relationship you're building with many of the commenters on your site. And the reason why it's interesting for me is, for many years, I just wouldn't even allow comments. I didn't want to deal with the trolls and disinformation cockroaches. And now I'm doing it to a limited extent. And when I see the attitude, I see the attacks, actually, I flag them as abuse, and I never see them again. But you're, on the other hand, working with these commenters. Tell me a little bit about this. Share that with my viewers.
Well, with my videos, I have my comments set to approved. So I have
Mhm.
to go through them. They're not just going to get out there.
Right.
So occasionally I do get the shills or trolls, or maybe just people who are just not like believing it, not believing their eyes.
Oh,
And so, but then I have other people who are just amazed at what I'm capturing and, really supporting me and writing a lot of comments. And, we're just, after you write so many comments, you tend to get to know each other a little bit. I
yeah.
mean, we're talking like friends, like we've known each other forever. And so it's nice to meet people like that through YouTube and to get to know other brothers and sisters and, um, people who are interested in this topic, because a lot of
Mhm.
people really have no idea what's going on,
Yep.
whether it's the chemtrails or whether it's Planet X, Nibiru. They have no idea what's coming. They're just oblivious.
Well, they're the ones that are going to be oblivious, and they're going to stay oblivious. And unfortunately, that's
They're
the
not
way.
going to be prepared.
So, what I'd like to do now is take you into the videos that you submitted to me that I've chosen for this. You sent me actually 11. Out of the 11, I picked 5 that I liked for different reasons, but
Mm-hmm.
also going with this theme of the Blue Kachina, which we're going to show some pretty interesting video on that. With this in mind, we're going to begin with December 28th, 2017, last year. And what really amazed me about this video that you submitted to me was when you actually shot the video, which was at 1:25 in the afternoon. That is extremely early in the afternoon for observations. And this is for years, we had a very narrow window, maybe 20, 30 minutes. And that had to be just close to the sun setting. Now it's different. So that tells me the celestial mechanics have changed dramatically. And on that note, let's go take a look at this video as you describe what's happening to my viewers.
Okay.
Tell us about this, Lana.
So this video, as you mentioned, it was at 1:25 in the afternoon, and I was using the eclipse glasses that you sent me, which have
Mm.
been so much fun to use, by the way. So I put them over my phone and aimed it up at the sun, and in this video you can see that there is the blue object up there. And with the eclipse glasses, they cut out a lot of the sun's light, so the object actually looks a little bit further away from the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if it was, when I take the eclipse glasses off, the camera just gets flooded with light, so it
Right.
kind of freaks out. But in this picture, you can see that the second object is blue.
It clearly is blue, and this is again the fact that you're getting this at 1:25 in the afternoon tells me that the celestial mechanics have changed considerably. And here, as you can see, when you're changing exposure modes because you've gone and
Mm-hmm.
removed sunglasses and you still have the object there, this is a very high quality observation.
Thank you. And the sun, you can tell, is just so bright that the object looks further away, but when you when you take them off, the sunlight floods back, so the object looks closer to the sun because it's so bright, because the sun is so bright.
I've noticed in your comments, I get in the comments, everybody's going, put the thumb in front of it, put the thumb in front of it. That's a red herring.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your camera has its auto exposure. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Your eyes are auto exposure as well. So you start going out and literally manipulating a powerful light source you don't know how things are going to respond. So this thing is, it's people think it's a clever idea. No, it's a red herring. Don't fall for it. I'm glad you're not falling for it. With that, Lana, let's move forward and let's talk about the two videos that you did on the 10th, because this stuff is, this
These
is
ones are
cool.
really good.
This is cool. So here we go. We're going to move to the January the 10th at 2:26 in the afternoon.
All right.
Now, Lana, that is pea soup.
It was a beautiful day. We had clouds, real clouds, and real rain for the first time in a long time. And I panned around, and then I got this, and I was like, "What?" Because there's the sun, that big white blobbed area right there at the bottom left-hand corner, and the object just went behind the clouds, and it will poke out again. But what happened in this first video was I got a phone call in the middle of it. So it cut out the video automatically. What's really cool is that there it is again.
Yeah,
you can see it just going in and out of the clouds. And the object below the sun, the sun, at some point you can see rays going up from the sun. And then the other object just keeps going in and out of the clouds.
Right.
Some pretty dark clouds there.
That is clearly a beautiful shot of the object of interest above the sun as clouds are passing in front of it. Lana, I'm really amazed that you were able to get the object of interest on such a heavy, cloudy day like that. But you were mentioning something about people saying sun simulator?
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, I guess they couldn't prove it was a lens flare. So their next tactic was to say that it was a sun simulator. But I don't buy that, because we have our sun, which has been our sun for millions of years, and we have this other sun or object that is now coming closer to us. But no, I just don't buy into the whole sun simulator, moon simulator business.
Neither do I. Now, I do it because years ago when I was working in the computer industry, I did a major project with Lockheed Martin on the KH-1 spy satellite that was used during the Cold War, and it was repurposed for civilian purposes. And I worked extensively on that project. It gives you a real feel for what you can do with a spacecraft. Also, as a ham operator, people don't realize it, but you can bounce your radio transmissions off of a satellite called Easy Sats. There's satellites up there for ham operators. And it's a great way to get around to talk to a whole lot of people without a lot of power. And as a matter of fact, there are hams that are bouncing signals off of the face of the moon and off the tails of comets. All right. This is interesting stuff. But a sun simulator, anybody who believes in sun simulators is smoking the good stuff. I mean, this is the ultimate red herring I have ever seen. I've been doing this for 20 years. And every time the elites find some debunking tactic that's not working for them anymore, what do? They come back. Sun simulator. It's like, really?
Because that's our old sun, and now this is our new sun, our big fake sun.
It's just stupid. If that's what you want to believe, fine. I got a bridge I'd like to sell you. But God, another one is sun dogs, and
Yeah.
And let me just,
People and their sundogs.
I want to show you how people are being fooled and how some of these clickbait YouTubers are just, they're either ignorant, totally ignorant of the science, or all they want to do is pump up the AdSense revenue and the subscriptions and the traffic, and that's it. It's just clickbait, fear porn, low life kind of nonsense. I'm going to show you what I see. Now, what you see in front of you is something I see all the time. And you see the sun to one side, and you see an object of interest on the left-hand side. And it always is like covered by clouds. You don't ever see this object to the left-hand side just standing out as an object of interest like what you're capturing. Now, people get this and they go, the glow to the left of the sun is planet X. Okay? Now, for those of you that really believe that, you're drinking the bong water, friends. You zoom out on this stuff and they show you what's to the right of the sun. You're going to see the same kind of flare action on both sides. What you are looking at right now, Lana, is an actual real-life sundog that was captured in Minnesota. And real-life sundogs need very precise atmospheric conditions to form. Although today I find that because of chemtrail spraying, that's changed. And we're seeing sundogs when we shouldn't be seeing sundogs because of the geoengineering. But again, what do you see? Do they start off with, these people who are doing these images, do they start off and show you what's actually happening? No. What they're doing, because they're either parroting some garbage that was thrown at them, or they just outright lying for the clickbait. And what do? They zoom in so that, what do you see? Something to the far left and the sun, but you never get a clear object. So you want to keep that in mind. There you are.
Yeah, actually, I've captured a sundog on a very heavily chemtrail day.
Wow.
And it was to the right of the sun. And actually, there was actually one on the right and the left. So, yeah, it was a very heavily chemtrail day. It was about 4:10 p.m. and there was a sundog on either side, or the little rainbow sundogs on either side of the sun. So,
you know,
I knew that wasn't Planet X. I knew that wasn't what I was capturing, because it's just not. It's just a rainbow. But in the next video, there is a little rainbow.
There is a little rainbow.
That gets left behind.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go on to the next one, but I'm glad that you're not being taken in by this sun simulator nonsense. Literally, folks, anybody who's feeding you sun simulator nonsense, it is a red herring. It is what the power programming structure is doing now, because all of the other things that they're doing to mess up the genre, this is just a new twist on it. It's one of the reasons why your work is excellent. Your integrity is above reproach. And you should be having 100 times the site traffic and the search engine links that you're getting. You're not getting it. You're being suppressed, and you're being suppressed for the same reason I'm being suppressed, because we're not putting clickbait out there. We're actually seekers of the truth, and that's what we want to do. So with that, let's get into this next one, because you actually took this just a few minutes after the one we just previously looked at. So with that, and here, Lana, you had much more time to work on it. Tell my viewers what they're seeing.
So with this one, it was right after I hung up on the phone call and I just got right back to filming.
Mhm.
And, you know, you could see the big white blob at the bottom. That's where the sun is. And the second sun just went behind the big dark cloud. And it's actually going to go through this, or the clouds are actually moving over it. But this cloud actually looks like a coyote. And I love that. It looks like coyote's face. But what you can see with the
Oh, hold a second. You're from Arizona. The official bird there is the roadrunner. Where's the roadrunner? I don't want the cowboy. Where's the
no, the coyote. It's a coyote.
coyote? There we go.
Yeah, it's a coyote. But
Oh,
yeah, you see it go through, you know, both of its eyes, and you know, at some point, you know, you can really see the blue color here, and then
mhm.
at some point you can also see sun rays coming up from the sun below. So people have been telling me that that is our old sun, and that the big bright area below is our sun simulator. And here, right here, you can see where it left behind a little rainbow. Because, and you can track it behind the clouds too, because it's emitting a blue light.
Right.
So when it's completely covered with the clouds, you can still see where it is without seeing the shape of it, because there's a blue aura around it. So it's very interesting.
It's actually beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's it's amazing. And here is where you can see some of the rays coming up from
Yeah.
the actual sun down there. But
Yeah. There you
yeah,
go. This video is just stunning. It's amazing to me, with the cloud moving over it. You know,
yeah. Real clouds, real rain.
real clouds, real rain. I mean, granted, I drink my tea with stevia, but
So people think that the chemtrails are actually real clouds. They're like, oh, look at that really nice straight cloud. It's really beautiful, isn't it? Look at all these straight clouds. Look at that straight line. They don't have any idea. Oh, look, honey, an X. Do you think that's for us? Or, oh, wow, look, he's trying to draw a heart. And sometimes you see him making like these crazy turns, and it's like, but what I saw today was absolutely disgusting in our skies.
oh,
Just line after line after line after line, completely covered all over the place. Just chemtrail to the max.
they're doing it to us here too, and it's we had a heavy wind that blew through, and the next day was absolutely clear because it was
Mhm.
like a 40-mile-an-hour wind, and it was. I'm going. That's the kind of sky I used to see when I was a kid. And for
Yeah,
your generation, you didn't grow up with the beautiful skies that I grew up with.
yeah. We had beautiful skies when I was growing up, but when I was driving um, down into town today,
Uh-huh.
from going from like 3,500 feet or 3,000 feet down to 2,000 feet.
Right.
Um, you know, when I'm at 3,000 feet and I just look downtown at downtown Tucson, just the valley, all you see is just brownish white haze, all just below the mountains.
It's muck.
And people are breathing that and they have no idea.
Well, I think the next one we're going to show shows a little bit of the dirt in the sky, even though
Mm-hmm.
it's a good observation. So, this next one that we're going to do is you did this on the 12th at 5 o'clock in
Mm-hmm.
the evening near sunset. So, that is stunning. Just to look at that, it's sad because you got that big honking chemtrail up there,
Yeah.
but this really is beautiful. Tell my viewers about this.
Well, this one I was at the store and I just stopped in the parking lot and I just noticed that there were so many chemtrails. And so I wanted to show that, and I also wanted to mess with the exposure, so I brought it all the way up and all the way down. Right now, it's all the
Right.
way down, and then I go up again. And you can see that the chemtrails are going, right across the sun. And even with the exposure up as high as it is right now, you can still see the object.
Mm-hmm.
And then bring it all the way down. It cuts out so much of the light that, it looks like it's a little bit higher than normal. So,
Yep.
yeah. And that's with the lowest exposure.
You really see the distance portrayed here much differently.
Yeah, it looks about the same as with the eclipse glasses on.
If that's the case, then this is progressed in the orbit a little further along, and well, it'll be interesting to see what that means in terms of celestial mechanics.
Yeah.
I just really am impressed with what you're doing to experiment with your smartphone. As we pointed out in previous videos, smartphones are not designed for observing objects behind the sun. I mean, this is like saying, I'm going to frame a house with a tack hammer. Theoretically, you could do it, but there's better tools. So with smartphones, it's going to depend on, well, who manufactured the components, software version, settings inside the camera, the lens coating, temperature when the lens was coated, how it was glued together. Just there's a myriad of factors.
Right.
Your camera just seems to be sensitive to just the right spectrum, part of the visible light spectrum, and that's why you're seeing what you're seeing. Although I am getting reports from other people, and they're tracking the object at the same place that you are. And of course, we know back in October of last year, we published on Yowza Ophelia Day, which is when everybody was seeing multiple objects in the sky. And what we showed in our article on the website is that we have corroborated all three objects that were visible in England by people just standing on the street with observations here in the United States. All right. With that, let's go to the last of these five. And this one you did on the 16th at 2:24 in the afternoon. Again, I'm stunned.
Yeah.
Now, this is this new video from the 16th of January.
Right. And so it was a very chemtrail day, and I was going to the park to meet my sister. And while I was waiting for her to come, I just took a shot. And, after right about here is where you see right above the sun at the 1 o'clock position.
Yeah.
It'll come out from behind those clouds any second now. Here it comes.
Okay. There we are.
There it is.
There it is. Look at that.
There it is, right in between the clouds there.
That is so
that's
amazing.
A different color blue. I mean, it's pretty blue there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we have a real steady pattern here. And
yeah, that was the same place. I was standing in relatively the same place, same time of day, about 2:30-ish. And again, with the cloud cover, except these are chemtrail covers.
Right.
Because they're trying to block this object out. They don't want people to see it.
Yeah, that and other things. It's just one of, with chemtrail spraying, it's a laundry list of things.
Yeah. It's two birds with one stone, or three birds with one stone, or whatever.
Yeah.
Their purposes are for that.
Or actually, they just prefer to kill the whole flock.
Yeah. Let's just, with nanu, right?
Nanu.
Bots.
Well, What I want to do next is I prepared a special composite of the two videos you did on the 10th, because I
Mhm.
want to help my viewers see even more closely what's happening as the clouds are passing in front of the object of interest. So I'm going to put that up now and have you talk about this with all of my viewers.
Okay.
And here we go. Here's the two of them that you did from the 10th, the one at 1426 and the other one at 1429. Talk to us.
Okay. Well, the one on the left is a little bit more zoomed in than the one on the right. Right now, with the one on the right, you can see the blue light that it's emitting
Mm-hmm.
from behind the clouds. And it's also in a darker area of clouds.
Mm-hmm.
And the one on the left is just about to start going behind the clouds or being covered by the clouds, but you can still see that blue light that it's emitting. And, you know, the only reason that there are two videos is because I got a phone call and got interrupted.
It wasn't a one-off fluke that you shot the video twice and you were getting exactly the same results.
Yeah. It was just like I got the phone call while I was holding it in my hands. I ignored it and just went straight back to my camera and stood in the same spot. So the clouds had shifted a little bit, but that's the only difference.
Well, Lana, I'm looking at this in terms of your thoughts on the Blue Kachina that your commenter brought up.
Hmm.
There are two things that I see make a very strong case for Blue Kachina. The first off is you're actually able to capture these object of interest much closer to noontime than ever before in the past. For years, if you go back to my videos dating, particularly going back to 2013 when we started with Turrialba and Bluebell, we had maybe about a 30-minute time slot, and some days was even much less. We had
Hmm.
to catch it just at the right time. Whereas now we're seeing that it is more persistent, it's further away from the sun, and we're also seeing blue, and this is showing up time and again over a series of days. And I think you
Hmm.
have, literally over a 30-day period of time, you have several videos where the object is blue. And this is the case with the ones that I didn't air that you submitted to me. Uh, just so the listeners understand, I did the starry night on everything you've seen and gamma tests. It all passed. There's absolutely nothing in the sky in the location where your object of interest is. Period. If somebody says
Hmm.
it's the moon, go do starry night or do some sky program. You're going to see moon is nowhere.
Hmm.
All right. And so I think you have some really excellent observations. Moving forward, what is it you want to do next with your observation work?
Well, I'd like to, if we ever get some more cloudy days out here, I'd like to take the opportunity to go back to the park and maybe around the same time and see if I can see it again.
Mhm.
I'd like to see it with clouds. And I thought today was going to be cloudy, but it was just chemtrail lines everywhere. So,
Yeah, and you're
um,
not the only one. I'm getting reports from everybody that's doing observation right now. Is that, but there's just a thick pea soup in the sky. Even when they're not chemtrailing, you
it's
still have the
disgusting.
aerosol that's hanging up in the sky, and so
Mhm.
really getting difficult for people to make observations.
Yeah, but I'm going to keep making observations as much as I can. I did do a video about the supermoon, the super blue blood moon.
Mm-hmm.
Only my camera can't get the detail on the moon, the craters.
Uh-huh.
But it was pretty interesting when I moved the exposure down. There was something weird that happened with the moon.
Mm.
So that was interesting.
Well, that's good. That's good. You're
So,
keeping up with it. And why don't you let everybody know where they can find your channel?
well, this is Lana with Just Us Tucson, and you can find me at www.youtube.com/justustucson.
Excellent. Again, Lana, your work is stellar. I love the
Thank
integrity
you.
that you bring to it. And it is, after all of the fear porn and clickbait I have seen in the last year, and it's disgusting. I had a woman who contacted me. She's been studying Planet X for 10 years. And she said, I don't even go to Google anymore because when I put Planet X into Google and search it, I get 55 pages of garbage.
Mm-hmm.
She was a retired nun. So I think
Yeah.
I think she's telling the truth on that one. And that's just the way it is. I really hope you get a break here. Folks, our work is being suppressed. Lana's work is being suppressed. My work is being suppressed. There's other people out there that are trying to do the right thing by you. They're trying to bring you information that's really useful, not tinfoil hat conspiracy weirdo stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like sun simulators. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm just so sick of that. But
Or
anyway,
colorful clouds.
huh?
Or colorful clouds.
Colorful.
Oh, whoever heard of sunset colors?
Yeah,
Really? That's new?
yeah. Sometimes the glow on a cloud is just a
I
glow. Who would have thought
didn't know that sunsets could be pink ever.
that? Okay. Well, I see you have a guitar, so maybe next time we have you on, we'll get a tune out of you.
Haven't played in a long time.
Okay.
Gotta build up the
Uh,
calluses.
and on that note,
Bye,
it's been a
guys.
wonderful interview, Lana. Thank you, dear.
Thank you, Marshall.